On this Wednesday morning, we do so with the help of Brian Grant, longtime crusader of living healthy with Parkinson's. Of course, Brian, most of our viewers are going to remember you and know you as a star performer for our Portland Trailblazers, but you have been on this crusade about living healthy with Parkinson's disease for many years now. Part of your message has been to get healthy with your eating, healthy eating habits, to live with Parkinson's, and you have a fundraiser coming up later this month for your foundation, the Brian Grant Foundation, called Plates for Parkinson's. And you also have a friend with you, Lynn Hubert, who I know, Lynn, you yourself were diagnosed with Parkinson's now 4 years ago. Let me start with you though, Brian. First question out of the chute, what kind of changes did you have to make to your diet, or should you have made to your diet?
Let's talk about what I should have done.
When you were first diagnosed with the diise.
I really did try. At first, I tried to become a vegan, but it didn't work. I like beef and I like chicken. But I've definitely tried to eat things that are healthy for Parkinson's patients. They're healthy for everyone, but especially for us because of the minerals and vitamins that are in it.
Lynn, how about yourself? Did you make a lot of dietary changes?
I did. I tried to eat antioxidant foods and the Mediterranean diet that's basically fruits, vegetables, and fish and some chicken and things like that. So
I want to make sure people know before we move further, and we can mention this again, but for right now, Friday, September 29th, so we're not talking about this Friday or next, it's the last Friday of the month. That is when Plates for Parkinson's will take place at Urban Studio, and you can get more information and tickets as well at briangrant.org. Brian, you've been on the show before. You've talked about the foundation, why it was important for you to start this organization in our community, but I thought with Lynn here, it's a great opportunity to hear from someone not named Brian Grant. And Lynn, maybe you can speak to what difference has this organization made for you since your diagnosis 4 years ago?
Well, first of all, the Brian Grant Foundation gave me something to go to find answers for diet and nutrition and exercise. And when you're diagnosed, you don't really know where to go or what to do. So Brian's organization helped me a lot with an exercise program that we have in Albany now for people with Parkinson's. And from the cooking classes to all sorts of info and a support team. So here's my support team.
Yeah, the benefit of the camaraderie, I'm sure, is just huge. So, Brian, you brought us some sushi there today. Is this what's going to be served up at Plates for Parkinson's?
Absolutely. This, among other things. But Market of Choice will be one of the local marketplaces that will be bringing food out. And this is a little treat from them. So we thought we'd bring it in and get down.
Do you eat this? Do you like the
I do.
raw
I love
stuff?
to. Yeah, I do. I mean, in moderations,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put you on the spot because here we go. Yes, here we go, Brian. When you started the organization, I know that living with Parkinson's disease is tough physically for you, obviously, but it's also tough mentally. And I'm sure that one of the helps for you is to know that people like Lynn are benefiting from the Brian Grant organization. Was this the idea really behind the organization? Like, this is tough to deal with, and I'm struggling with it mentally and physically, but maybe if I have others out there that I can reach out to, it'll make a difference?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like right now, you look, I'm tremoring, my meds are coming to an end. I've told Lynn I've never seen her tremor. I've never seen her tremor. She follows, the exercise routines as well as nutritional routine, has a great support group, and this is what the benefits can be if you're willing to do whatever you have to do to make your symptoms be less.
But I know, Brian, you've been honest with us in the past. You say doing these TV interviews makes you tremor more, correct?
They do. They do.
Now, is it
you have to put up
Marshall
yes.
specifically? Is it Miss
It's
Marshall?
like we're family now.
Is it Rod Hill sitting on the couch? He's an intimidating presence, I know, on the couch.
Lynn, speak to the tremor and the fact that you sit here and there's no visual effects.
Well, the medicine works really well for me, and exercise and diet also play into that whole thing. And so when you exercise every day and do what you need to do, hopefully slows the progression and helps with all the symptoms.
Can I ask you, Lynn, I'm sure you had some ideas or thoughts about Parkinson's before you were diagnosed yourself. What have you learned since the diagnosis? I mean, how is this disease different having lived through it now than before when you didn't have the disease yourself?
I didn't know much about Parkinson's to begin with. I knew it was a tremor, and that was about all I knew. And so when you have a resource to go to that gives you some hope and some things to do. So you need to pick up the pieces and move on the best you can. So that's what I did with Brian Grant's.
Brian, what does it mean to you to have Lynn sit next to you and say you were her hope and you are her hope and continue to be her inspiration?
It means everything to me because I can remember that first day that I was diagnosed, trying to look on the internet, try to find information that would help me at my age, 34, 35 years old, with children still wanting to do things in life, but not knowing what I could do for myself to make things better. So to see Lynn here and to see other people and receive postcards and telephone calls from people who say it's absolutely changed their life, that's a home run.
Yeah.
Well,
congratulations on the success of the foundation. And go Beavs.
That's
You got to
right.
explain the
Jaden Grant,
T-shirt.
26,
Yeah, people would think
Beavers.
you'd be wearing blazers, but your son is playing for Oregon
He
State.
is. He's a sophomore with, he redshirted his first year. And, we come out the gate on a rough one, but, stay with us,
Yeah.
It's a
You don't have
great
to convince Kathy. She is with you.
I ran into
Beavers.
Brian. We ran into each other at the
Yeah.
at the Portland State game.
Well, a lot of our viewers, I'm sure, cheered for you on the basketball court. Now we ask them to support your organization. You can support Brian Grant's foundation coming up later this month. Plates for Parkinson's, September, I almost said February, September the 29th. Again, right there on your screen, you see the information, briangrant.org, for tickets and more info. We're back with more Portland Today right after this.